Hey guys, Shebard here again with another video from Tera Online, and today is going to be my first dungeon guide. So we're going to be covering Saleron Sky Garden, which is a level 53 instance. I believe you can get there till like 56 if you use the dungeon finder. However, you're probably not going to want to go here until you get the story quest, because the story quest gives a shitload of experience and gives a fucking nice gold weapon. So, first things first, if you want to get to the instance manually and not use the dungeon finder, then you can find it here on the map. It's a teleportal on the bridge with the guy who's like chained up and shit. Don't really know what the story is in this game because it doesn't really make any sense to me. Anyway, moving on. So the first thing you're going to notice when you get in the instance is that it's kind of weird. It's broken up into separate platforms. And this is really unique. And for this reason alone, I'm going to say that this is my favorite instance in the game up until this point. So I want to say that these platforms are broken up into two separate categories. The first one is bosses. There's actually 4 platforms, the bigger 4 platforms, which host the bosses. And then there are 7 smaller platforms. And they are pretty much small puzzles that you are going to have to do to get onto the next platform. One thing which makes this instance great and kind of different to other stuff is that you can't just brute force through them. You can't just kill everything on the platform because you actually need to do specific things like puzzles which are going to let you finish this platform and move on to the next one. So let's get started. On entering the instance, you're going to notice that there are 3 crystals around on each platform, and this is going to happen pretty much every platform before a boss. And if you hit these crystals, and if you're in a radius of like 5 yards of it, it's going to give you a buff, which is going to help you out on the next platform. And these are split up into 3 sections. The one on the left, the light green one, is actually going to give you 30% extra HP. The one on the right, the other greenish kind of color one, is going to give you 30% skill damage. And the last one, which is the purple one, is going to give you 30% increased mana. So when you hit these, as I said, you basically get a buff, which is going to last for only 2 minutes. So you pretty much want to work out in your group who's getting what, and you want to all get it at the same time, and then move on to the boss. You'll notice that on every single platform, pretty much, there is a crystal in the middle of it. And when you DPS this down, as soon as it hits 0%, it's going to start that phase. So on this platform, all you do, simply nuke the crystal, and it's going to spawn quite a lot of ads. The best way to do this is probably to gather up by the gate and just let all the ads come to you and just AoE them down. Now, moving on to the second platform, this is the first boss fight. So I've only done this instance twice, and this boss is actually a random boss. So the 2 bosses that I had when I did this was Duke Volperon, which was the guy from SM. I believe it was the 3rd boss, the one who does like the spin kick and shit. And the second time was Karasha, the boss from Dark Revelations quest. So these bosses didn't do anything different. You pretty much just do exactly what you did when you killed them before. Next we have platform 3. This is the most simple one of all, but I know that there are going to be so many people in pugs and stuff that just fuck it up. As you notice, there are just mobs patrolling around this ring. All you have to do is just fucking run past them. Don't attack them. Don't AFK fucking auto run into them. Just run past them. Next up is platform 4. This one's pretty simple as well, to be honest. But if you don't know what you're doing, then you're going to wipe. This platform's going to spawn a lot of mobs. They're going to be scattered around all over the place. However, there is one mob that is named, and this is the one that you need to kill. As you can see on screen, we know where this mob spawns in advance, because we did it already once, and that is the north side of the room. So the best thing to do is to group up all your DPS at the north side, and as soon as it spawns, just to pounce on it. While the DPS are doing this, the best thing to do is to get the tank and the healer to try and get threat on the rest of the mobs, and just to kite them in a circle around the room until the mob's dead. This only gets hard if the tank gets threat on all the mobs, including the name mob, because this way you can't actually single target and nuke down the name mob, and it gets pretty fucking dangerous because these mobs hit like a truck. Up next, we have the second boss platform. This is a guy called Barret, and he's like a big ice giant. You've probably fought something like this in Colossal Ruins. It's the same BAM model, and it pretty much is the same attack pattern. The only things you need to watch out for is a 3 combo attack with his axe when his eye lights up, like normal. And the other attack is a charge where he just goes across the screen. Obviously, you don't want to get hit by this. The only thing which makes this boss hard is the fact that he spawns 2 basilisks at 20%. So we actually tried to deal with this in 2 different ways. The first way was to CC the ads and pretty much just nuke down the last 20% of the boss. And the second way was just to kite the ads and nuke the boss. The only problem with the first tactic was that he actually does an emote called Come My Pets, which is fucking, well, sexual and shit. But when he does this, it breaks all CC on the mobs. So we realized that after this, we were sleeping them and stuff. It was fucking pointless. So the best way to do it is just to let whoever's got threat, which is probably going to be the healer, Just kite the ads around the edge of the room while everyone just nukes the boss. You'll probably be able to get it down in like 30-40 seconds. If your Lancer is good enough, / he has enough gear, he can probably just tank all 3, to be honest, as long as he can block and he's good at it. So that might be an option in the future if you have better gear than we currently did when we did this video. This next section is pretty much the same as just killing the name mob on platform 3, except all you need to do is just kill a red mob. So as you can see on screen, the red mob, I'm not sure if it spawns in a specific place, but you just need to tag it out the group, let the healer and the tank kite the rest of the mobs and just nuke it down yet again. As soon as you kill it, the rest of the mobs will despawn. On this next platform, as soon as you get onto it, you're going to notice that a crystal is going to spawn up directly in the center. The best thing to do here is just to nuke that down as fast as possible. Ads are going to spawn 2 at the start, a priest and a guardian. However, just let the Lancer pick them up and deal with them. Over time, more ads are going to spawn, but yet again, just get the crystal down as soon as you can and they will despawn. Now onto the third boss platform. This one's kind of hard as well, to be honest, but as soon as you know his attack pattern and what he does, it's really easy. The boss is called Zelvictus, and I'm going to go over his attacks, what they do, and how to avoid them. So the first one you want to watch out for is a conal breath in front of him. If you get hit by this, not only does it do quite a lot of damage, but it's actually going to put a debuff on you, which is going to do damage over time. And it will also slow you. So make sure if you do get hit by it, that your healer dispels it. The best way to avoid this is the cone is actually 180 degrees, thereabouts. So you just pretty much don't want to stand in front of where he is. Always be to the sides or behind. The second one that you need to watch out for is probably the second most deadly, and it actually comes with an emote. So when he says down dogs, you'll see it in yellow in the middle of his screen, he's going to do like an AoE like 360 tail swipe. So you either want to get out or you can stun it. The third and final ability that he does is the most powerful. So if you get hit by this, it's going to do 75% damage, thereabouts, and it's going to give you the damage over time / slowing debuff. So you pretty much don't want to get hit by this. As you can see on screen, he takes the horns off his back, throws them up in the air, and then throws them down on the ground in 4 sections. It's kind of hard to know where this is going to happen. However, I'm not 100% sure on this yet again, but it looks like you can outrange the attack. So me and Shik, our healer, we were actually standing pretty far away, I'd say 10-15 yards, and we never actually got hit by it once. The final thing that I want to note for this fight is that supposedly throughout the entire fight, fire / lightning shit can spawn on the floor. Now, if you stand in this, it's going to do a hell of a lot of damage. And I can't actually see this in the fight, and you probably can't see it in the video either. But I was told by my guildies, Malice and Herstyle, shout out to you guys, that it actually happens, so stay away from this. Moving on to the second to last platform, all you have to do here, yet again, is avoid the ads. They're just going to be patrolling around the outside of the circle, so just wait until they're the other side of the room and just fucking simply run across. Finally, we are at the last platform, well, the last puzzle platform before the last boss. This one's pretty easy, to be honest. You just need to stand in the center. Right, the reason for this is that there are 4 pylons around the edge of the room, and they actually spin and they have lasers. Now, if you get hit by this, I'm not sure how much damage it does because none of us got hit by it. But all you need to do are nuke the 2 ads which are there at the start. Now, more ads are going to spawn over time, so you need to get maximum DPS and get them down before you get overrun. Now we are on to the final boss of the instance, and he's fucking jokes, man. The model looks amazing. Proper happy about this. Anyways, this boss isn't exactly hard, but it takes a little bit of time, and I believe that it's kind of a DPS race. As you can see on screen, he has a couple of attacks. The first one is a ground pound. He's going to fly up into the air and pretty much pound a certain target. So if you get hit by this, it's going to not only do a lot of damage, but it's going to put a damage debuff on you. I believe this does damage over time, but it also has another effect. Now, I can't confirm this, but I've been told this. And supposedly what it does is it can stun other players who are close to you. It won't stun you yourself, but it can stun other players. The second attack, as you can see here, is a long-range fireball. It's not really hard to dodge. The Lancer is probably going to be the only one who's having this done to him. Obviously, he can block it. Another thing that he does is he flies up in the air and he puts down 2 red circles. Now, these are going to be in a line, so if you avoid the first one, you pretty much can avoid the second one. If you get hit by the first one, you're going to get hit by the second one, so don't do that. Pretty much the last ability worth noticing is the fact that he can burrow. He's going to go down into the ground and he's going to fucking crawl away and then come up. Now, this does a lot of damage if you get hit by it, and it's also going to apply the dot. Now, the thing that is going to make this fight a little bit different is that I believe it's a DPS race. Now, the reason that I say this is because, as you can see on screen, these pylons are spawning more and more regularly as the fight goes on, and they're actually getting closer and restricting the amount of space that we have to do the boss. So for that reason alone, I'm going to say it's a DPS race, but it's not that extreme. I mean, we managed to do this really easy, and no wipes, nothing. So one thing that really confused me, and I still don't know the answer to this, is that, as you can see on screen, at 50%, this little fucking weirdo spawns. And he says, catch me if you can. And supposedly he's stolen a key. So when he spawns, it comes up with a timer counting down from 10. And we were like, oh fuck, we need to kill him quick before he blows up. But we like two-shotted him. We had like 7 seconds left or something. And we didn't know. We were like, okay, cool, carry on with the boss. But when we got to the end of the boss, we noticed this thing here to the right, which is the Secluded Terrace Teleport. And as you can see on screen, on the map, there's another fucking platform. And obviously, when you click this, it's probably supposed to take you to the platform. However, it tells us, as you can see, that we need a key. And then it clicked in our brains that that guy obviously drops the key. However, we killed him. We didn't get the key. So I want to know if anyone out there, any of you guys, have got this key and managed to make it to that fucking platform. Because I want to know what's on there. So put that in the comments below and let me know. So guys, thanks a lot for watching this video. This is my first dungeon guide, as I said. I'm going to be covering all of them. Terra has come out. I've got like 3 terabytes worth of footage on the way up to 60 and at 60. And I'm going to be doing everything Terra. I'm going to have guides for reputation. I'm going to have the dungeon guides. I'm going to have how to get all the fucking hats. I'm going to have everything. So if you want to see more Terra videos or you're interested in this shit, click the subscribe button, watch my videos, and thanks a lot. I'll see you guys soon.